Hatem coming at you live and direct. I'm sorry for the lateness, but my computer crashed. So I'm trying to do this whole show up here live on my phone. This is my first time doing it on my phone. The lines are open. 614-556-4535. Y'all might be able to hear that. We're going to check and see how my operating system for some reason has shut down on my phone. But once again, it's done it to me again. You shouldn't be amazed. You shouldn't be astounded. You shouldn't be baffled. You shouldn't be fooled. You should understand that this is what goes on with the journeyers, because we are traveling the timelines of the universe. We are doing astounding things. We are changing our lives first. We are changing other people's lives. We are doing the work. Right? We're doing a self-mastery. Right? The lines are open. Hit me up at 614-556-4535. This show was so powerful, I had to find a way to bypass my computer so that I can make sure that y'all got this one, right? But first off, let me remind you, you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. I am your host, Brother Hatem, and you are now listening to AO, also known as AEOOO, which stands for An Empire of Our Own. I am Brother Hatem, and you are listening to Folk Tales for Grown Folks, right? Folk Tales for Grown Folks, right? So we're going to get down into it. So feel free to call in so that we can have this powerful discussion about this folk tale that we're about to break down, that I'm about to share with you. This is called, the folk tale for tonight is called The Hares and the Foxes. Before I get into the folk tales for grown folks, I want to make sure that all of y'all know that y'all can support the work we do here at Gye-Nyame on our Patreon page. You go to Gye-Nyame, you go to Patreon and look for GNJ. You know what I'm saying? Support us on Facebook. Also realize that we are consultants with Amber Energy, and you could do that too. But because my computer crashed, I don't have my commercial. I'm so hurt. So I'm going to have to go on and scrounge up this little bit of money that I do got and go out and buy another computer. But I'm not concerned about it because I know I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and it's going to happen. Right? You know what I'm saying? I stay motivated. I stay up. I stay empowered, right? By me doing these things, it makes me possible to be able to overcome all things. So for those that were expecting me to be exactly at 9, you know, it's hard now because listen, there's a whole nother lesson in this, right? So at the school, I'm at the school as y'all know. I work at a school, right? And one of the things that goes on at the school is that my daughter Gina is right now trying out. Gina is trying out for cheerleading. No, she's trying out for the dance team, right? And I love my baby, man. I love my baby, right? And she is struggling. She is truly, truly struggling, right? Right? And what I'm noticing is that even though she can't get the dances, she's not stopping. Even though she can't get the jump up, the jumping jack, she's not stopping. Even though she can't get the dance steps, she's not stopping. And everybody's saying, Gina, you would be so much better as a cheerleader, Gina. Why don't you just do the cheers? Because you like doing the splits and doing the flips. But ever since she came to school, she says, I'm going to be on the drill team. I want to be on the drill team. And everybody is telling her, Gina, you need to go on and try cheerleading. I said, Gina, you want to do cheerleading? She says, no. So I seen her doing the jumping jacks. And she was off from everybody else. And I started laughing, and I walked in. Everybody, why are you laughing at my daughter? Why are you laughing at your daughter, brother, Mr. Brown? Why are you laughing at your daughter, Mr. Brother Hatem? I'm laughing at my daughter because she's not quitting. And it's so empowering, right? See, because I know she pick up some of the negative stuff from me. You know what I'm saying? I know she picking up the fact that when I was struggling with tobacco, that she was imitating me, and she imitates the cussing. She gets it from me, right? But she also understands, and she's copying the fact that her daddy sits down nightly and talks on the radio to himself. He won't quit. I don't care how many people is listening. I don't care how many people are not listening. I'm doing this because I'm laying a legacy. I'm doing this because I'm good at it, and I'm going to be the best at it. I'm doing this because my daughter won't quit. And because my daughter won't quit, I know she's getting it from somewhere. And I know she's listening to some of the things I'm saying. I know she's listening to some of the podcasts that I listen to. And I know that she knows, as Brother E.T. says, it's phenomenal will, not phenomenal skill. She won't quit. They might be working hard. You know what I'm saying? Some of them might have the natural rhythm. But one of the things that I'm seeing that Gina going to have over all of them is Gina got that work ethic. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep on pushing Gina, right? Because there's a lesson in there for us adults. You know what I'm saying? There's a lesson in there, you know? I almost bring a tear to my eyes. So I'm going to give Gina a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Because she's trying. I'm loving it. I'm loving watching her do her thing. All right. So, now, the story tonight is called The Hare and the Foxes, right? I want to make sure that I'm able to hear my fam, if anybody tune in, you know, those that out there that may want to join, hit me up at 614-556-4535. Once again, that's 614-556-4535. So let me go on and share this on the Facebook page. Make sure everybody out there know that I'm up. So, you know, even those that want to listen, you just go and listen in. Because, Brother Hatim, you already know I don't mind talking. I'll do the whole damn show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting it up on there. I'm putting it up on my Facebook, you know, once again. So those that want to do it, y'all heard the Facebook. That's kind of dope. Come on now, Facebook. Stop playing. Get it up. Boom. There we go. All right. Also, I'm putting it on my Twitter. Bow. Here we go. Got, you know, I'm putting it up on my Twitter feed, you know. Bow. Right? You know what I'm saying? Now, here we go. Are y'all ready? Because we're going to make this one quick. Because it don't seem like, I think I might have missed all the people that wanted to call in, because Mr. Trailer was amped about this one, and I don't know what's going on with Sister Janice, but I hope all is well. And I'm sending blessings out there to all the journeyers, right? Because y'all got to realize, man, this is a movement, man, because it's like this. Yo, we're going to use our ancestral wisdom, the secret messages they sent through time and space for us in these stories, these folk tales. These stories and folk tales are, in a sense, like organic programs that were sent down to us through time, in our writings, and in us going mouth to ear for generation after generation, passing these stories. And in them is the wisdom that's going to free us, right? All right, so here we go. The hares waged war with the eagles and called upon the foxes to help them. They replied, y'all, I hope y'all ready for this. They replied, we would willingly have helped you if we had not known who you were and with whom you were fighting. Count the cost before you commit yourself. All right, let's go one more time. The hares waged war with the eagles and called upon the foxes to help them. They replied, we would willingly have helped you if we had not known who you were and with whom you were fighting. Now, once again, the moral is count the cost before you commit yourself. And the wisdom in that could be looked at from, of course, a lot of different angles. One of the first ones that came to me was one, you know what I'm saying, our ancestors left a proverb that said, only a fool tests the depths of water with both feet, right? You know what I'm saying? many of us in our lives, we automatically jump both feet into conflict. A friend call, we automatically jump on our friend's side, not even caring whether our friend is right or wrong. We have relatives where they will call us into their mess, knowing that they're wrong, right? And we'll run right in. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things, as I start getting older and my body start healing slower, and I started really looking at my children and being like, damn, I really got something to lose. Right? I had to step back and be like, damn, I really got something to lose. I wasn't counting the cost. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't counting the cost before I threw my hat into the ring, before I threw my hat into the race, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the cost could be your life. The cost could be time. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been several instances where I jumped into something, and not only could I have lost my life, right? I could have also lost time. And what type of time I'm talking about? I'm talking about sitting behind bars because I ran up behind somebody's foolishness. I didn't count the cost, right? I didn't care about the cost because when we're young, and one of the things we got to really start understanding when we're dealing with some of our young people actually believe, right? They actually believe that they are immortal. Because I went through the phase. You know what I'm saying? I didn't survive some shit that I was like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? I felt I didn't have to count the cost. Because whatever the cost was, I had enough money to pay it. I had enough time to pay it. Because I'm going to live forever. And we got to start making sure that our young people start understanding that life is not a forever proposition. Life is not a forever game. You know what I'm saying? We have prices to pay, right? And one of the things that really bothers us or really upsets this mind state of us being able to count the cost, because I'm going to make sure my kids understand, count the cost before you leave, right? Because I know a lot of y'all say, brother, how Tim, that goes against some of the stuff you're saying. No, it don't. No, it don't, because the piece is, you can have a dream and you can jump into the dream and you can work hard towards the dream. What I'm saying is, count the cost. Are you willing to pay? You know what I'm saying? Because some of us, we jump into stuff and we talk about, I don't care what it costs, all the way till it hits us, all the way till it bites us. You know what I'm saying? I have people that I know that got into a situation and was murdered and couldn't watch their children grow up, or crippled. And couldn't run and play with their kids. Or couldn't even make kids no more. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with passion, jumping in bed with anybody and ending up dead. You know what I'm saying? From these diseases, getting these diseases. They got diseases that don't go away no more. Ew. They got diseases that do this to you. Blows up and gets all up on the insides and messes you up. You know what I'm saying? Now, so, also, the society that we live in, this Western society, is heavily debt dependent. And we got to understand the strategy of debt, right? The strategy of debt helps keep the masses satisfied. It helps keep the masses in their place, right? Because you constantly have to be concerned about the things that you want to get in the future, as well as the things that you're still paying for. See, many people can't get too revolutionary, because they got a house note. They got child support. You know what I'm saying? The society is based on credit. You overextending yourself. You selling your future. And we got to really start understanding. We got to start teaching our kids that when we exist on credit, we are basically selling ourselves into slavery, because what you're selling is you're selling your future ability to earn. Right? So now my piece is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use credit. But what I'm saying is, when you use credit, you have to learn how to use. You got to count the cost. You got to learn how to use it wisely. Many of us take credit. Many of us take loans out when we don't even look at the interest. We don't even care that the fact that we take $100,000 loan and have to pay $300,000 back over 30 years. We don't even care about that, right? Because it's way down the road. Not realizing that we actually sold ourselves into bondage. Credit is bondage. Count the cost, right? I want you to look at this. We got hares, and those that don't know what hares are rabbits, right? That went to war with eagles. I have often seen documentaries where eagles ate rabbits. I have never seen a documentary where a rabbit was eating an eagle. I have never heard of a rabbit eating an eagle. Ever. My question is, what in the hell was the hares warned against the eagles about? And why did they think that they could win? And then on top of that, why did they think that they could call on the fox to be their ally? Listen to the fox response. We would willingly have helped you if we had not known who you were and with whom you were fighting. Wise response. We know that this is a losing battle. You don't wage war, because even when you are at peace, you still catch the raw end of the stick with the eagle. And you also can't beat us. And the foxes know that the eagles can beat them, because the eagle can swoop down and pick up a fox, because they have been known to eat foxes too. Right? Many of us, one, go to war with things that we can't possibly live. For example, black folks, my journey is, listen to me. Listen, you battle institutions with institutions. You battle tribes with tribes. You battle communities with communities. We as individuals, right, can never win our freedom, because our freedom is being held from us through institutions. So if we want to be free, if you want to get free, you first have to develop the institutions that are dedicated to your freedom. We haven't developed institutions that's dedicated to us building our freedom, to us building a nation. We haven't developed those institutions that have the goal of developing millionaires and billionaires in the black community. We haven't developed those institutions. We haven't developed those institutions that will educate us for our benefit rather than the benefit of others. Right? We have developed those institutions that will build communities that when we live in them, we control them. We haven't built those institutions, right? You know what I'm saying? We haven't built those institutions that are there to help us to help us run the political strategies or to run the politics in our lives. We haven't even set up those institutions that are focused on our success, right? Many of us, as black people right now, how you doing, Sister Janice? Welcome. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, ma'am, because, I don't know if you was listening, but my computer, my Chromebook, I actually use a Chrome, my Chromebook crashed on me, and I wasn't able to get on it, so I jumped on my phone and I plugged it into this, and it's working, so hey, can't stop. Man, my Chromebook crashed on me about 4 or 5 times. See, this is what's crazy. Listen, I even called Google about it, right? And they heard about this Chromebook and started laughing. The technician actually started laughing because I told him that it would crash and then it'd come back. It crashed and it'd come back. I mean, it's like it takes vacations. It's like, hell with you, man. I'm working it too hard. And it's hey, I'm taking a break, man. But what I was talking about was the name of the folktale is The Hares and the Foxes. Did you get an opportunity to hear it, to read it? Okay. Now, what I was talking about now is, I'm not going to rehash all that, but the piece that I'm really going into now is the insanity of the Hares going to war, going into a direct war with egos. You know what I'm saying? And I'm using that to talk about, because I call us journeyers now. You know what I'm saying? I found out that's a word. My journey is, I'm trying to tell them, as black folks or as any group, you never go to war as individuals against the institution, because the institution will always outlast you. And in a sense, going to war against the institution as an individual is like the Hares going to war against the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? It's almost an unwinnable battle, because the Eagles are the institution. Not only can hit you from all angles, it will outlive you in most cases, because that's why institutions are developed to carry on ideas. You know what I'm saying? Institutions like we look at universities. They're developed and built to carry on ideas. The ideas of a Eurocentric worldview, to carry on those ideas and to perfect those ideas. When you look at the institutions that Europeans, that Jews, that Hispanics have developed for themselves, that the Italians have developed for themselves, that the Irish have developed for themselves, are all institutions that make sure that they're able to maintain themselves in the society. And we haven't developed those institutions. But I mean, I'm going to let you, because I done spoke, so go and handle your business, baby. It's on you. Wow. Yes, it is. Yeah, hey. I mean, but remember when we studied when we ran into the what they called them, the 10 laws of Maya. One of them was being able to distinguish between the real and the unreal. That or as you put it in a way that everybody can understand it, that discernment, man. I mean, and it's so, and I mean, it's so clear that we are. I mean, in our insanity, we have one of the things that we have lost is the ability to discern the real from the unreal. You know what I'm saying? And actually, that makes the world unsafe for us, because we got people making dumb decisions because they can't even discern the situation. You know, so man, yeah, man, and you know, and it's good that. So I think one of the things we might need to do is I'm gonna have to go back through the shows and start pulling out some of the key points, because you said, because we rehashed discernment. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the important ones, but there's a whole bunch of other possibly unexplored ideas, or unnamed ideas, or unpinpointed ideas that we have probably brushed over, that may be life saving for some of the people that be listening to us, because we be getting. I mean, the numbers is increasing now. I don't know if you've been checking the stats, but the numbers. Mm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Which which one which one goes back to the point you said before. It takes discernment, and then on top of that, now with these parents, with a lot of these parents, man, these parents come in actually thinking they might be the ego. They come in thinking they got the high ground, but when they run into teachers that actually take the time to get to know their kids, because I was going to try to pull up the quotes, but this computer moves slow. But you had some good quotes, and one of them was something about how children come to school and tell on their parents through their actions, because the parent get mad at the kid, but it ain't the kid is just a reflection of us. You know what I'm saying? When in fact that the issue is never the kid. I ain't gonna say that. Because kids are picking up a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But in a lot of the cases, it's not the child. I don't care how old they are. If they still living up under your roof, they done picked up. They got 18 years of training. One of my colleagues called it. We can't. He said it like this. He said, "Man, we can't be punishing these kids for channeling their parents." I said, "Wow. You know what I'm saying?" So, and see. There you go. We are the hares trying to fight the eagles. We haven't developed the institutions so that we could become airborne to battle the eagles. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, school is an institution. When you turn that institution over to another group, they're going to use that institution to lift their group up. You know what I'm saying? We done turned that over. We done turned the businesses over. We don't have any institutions that are designed or geared towards lifting us to a better life on this plane. We got plenty of them that talk about life, the life in the hereafter. But we don't have none that talk about lifting us up in this present day. We don't have none that talk about developing business people and developing great thinkers that are for us. If they are, they're coming out of institutions that's run by other people. I don't know if you remember, I really fell out of love with the whole Afrocentric movement after I went to one of the conferences. We were still at Ohio State. We went to one of the conferences. I think it was in Philadelphia or somewhere. We went down there. Ohio State basically sent a large crew of us to this Afrocentric conference. We went down there. I don't know if you went with us, because I was smoking a lot of weed then. I don't remember. But I really got frustrated because we had like 100 doctors up in there that was presenting on writing Metuneta. It's not hieroglyphs, it's Metuneta, brother. You know what I'm saying? We got brothers talking about engineering, how we built the pyramids. We got all these experts And all of them is coming from universities that's run by our masters. And none of them sat down and said, why don't we start a correspondence course for all these young people coming up in here with a university under our name until we could get a building? You know what I'm saying? Because we actually had a lot of young people coming in from all these universities. But instead of doing that, you got professors trying to hit on the young women. Because it was a lot of that shit going on. You know what I'm saying? You got the old professors trying to hit on the young folk. You know what I'm saying? You got and it was like, it was very disappointing to me because we wasn't talking about nation building. We was flaunting. We was doing like the Hares. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like we was looking at the fox, like the Hares did, and said, why don't you come help us? And the fox is like, yo, I would have helped you if I didn't know who you were and who you was fighting. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're running around just like a rabbit, running from hole to hole. When the snake come, we got to run because we can't beat the snake. When the coyote come, we got to run because we can't beat the coyote. You know what I'm saying? When the fox comes and set a store up in our rabbit neighborhood, we got to run because, you know what I'm saying? We got everybody beating us because they have set up institutions that have prepared them for battle. And you know what I'm saying? We're hoping that somebody's going to step up and go to war with us, knowing that we don't bring nothing to the battle. It's real frustrating for me, man. And then you always remind me of the situation that I go to because I'm looking at some of the parents, I'm looking at the kids. It's almost like nobody really sees the plight that we are in. Maybe you have experienced this, but a lot of my kids honestly think that their parents are rich. They really don't recognize that they are one paycheck away, just like a lot of us, from poverty. We have learned to hide, and this is another point that I brought up. The moral of the story is count the cost before you commit yourself. But right before you came on, I was talking about how the Western society has taught us that it's okay to go into debt. And debt is basically you selling yourself into bondage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with this moral is warning us about counting the cost. And many of us in this society, we have been taught, oh, don't worry about the cost. You'll get it in the end. We'll handle it in the end. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how many of us live our lives. And like you said, with the adults having to do better, we have to start living responsibly and start counting the cost. What is it costing us to live the way that we're living? We have generations of our people dying without leaving anything for those coming behind us. Not realizing that hell for Africans for millions of years, for how many of years we've been on this planet, was not being remembered by the generations that come after us. And what's the best way not to be remembered? By not leaving nothing. Matter of fact, leaving the struggle. You let your name become a curse. You know what I'm saying? So ASAP, man, it's like, man, these are organic these are organic programs that was sent down to us that when it hits the right hardware, right? When it runs into the right brains, it just will awaken and alive. And I understand why they try to keep these in the segment of children's myths, children fables. These are just for kids. I understand now. You know what I'm saying? Because I read some of these to some of my kids. My kids they be lost. Like, that ain't no kid's story, Mr. Brown. That ain't no kid's story. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I told them the one we did last week, and I went to, I ain't gonna go into that. I ain't put myself, but it's like some of the lessons that come out of this, man. I mean, are really liberating. I mean, they're really tools of liberation. And they're lessons that I think a lot of us can learn from. But I don't have anything else to share on that one, unless you. Hey, so but we got we got a good. It's a good one coming next week. What's coming up? Do you want me to tell you so you can look it up? Okay, all right. Right, I try to do now so just so I know, is it better to send it to you on Google Plus, or is it better to send you on Facebook, or should I just keep on doing both? Okay. Uh-huh. Cool. Cool. So I want to thank Ms. Janice for joining me and sharing her wisdom. We're gonna give her a round of applause. There we go. But those of you out there, please take the time to actually study these folk tales. Get the usefulness out of them. I know a lot of times I come on the show and I'm cussing and I'm clowning. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe that the journey to self-mastery had to be boring. I don't believe that I have to be stern and so, and die young like some of my elders. You know what I'm saying? Who died early in their eldership. They didn't even get to enjoy their eldership because they were so serious and so stressed out. I'm not going to allow myself to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow those people around me to do that. You know what I'm saying? As journeyers, we have to understand that, we get the lesson in the journey, but we have to be healthy enough to make the journey. We got to be able to smile sometime. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to look at some of the hard times and remind ourselves, because one of the things that I picked up in college that I want to pass on to everybody is that when I was really going through my hard times, I came up with a term that said, one day I'm going to laugh about this. And the truth of the matter is, everything that happened to me back in college, back in those days, no matter how bad it was, I made it through and I'm able to laugh at that shit. All we got to do is outlast them. Our people have been here for, all we got to do is be wise and outlast them. We set our strategy, be patient, and outlast them. So our enemies, that's it. So this is Brother Hatim. I'm saying thank you for tuning in, and we are out. Thank you, sis, for tuning in. Yes, ma'am.